Hey there folks, John here, and you'll notice that I am in a new space because for those that follow the channel, you will know that I recently moved house, hence the lack of videos in a while. And since I haven't really put up any good videos lately, other than me just like talking in the car about the SNES Classic or like visiting a game store or something like that, no proper videos, I figured, you know what? I picked up a ton of stuff in the last couple months, so what better way to celebrate a new game room than just to show off my new pickup. So here we go. Okay, so I have a big tub of stuff behind me. Now, most of it came from one specific pickup, but before I get to that, I have been to a couple retro game stores, and I did find a really good deal on a buy-sell group that I just wanted to go over real quick, because I have had a pretty good amount of luck for these past couple months getting stuff for relatively cheap. So first of all, I did a video on this. It hasn't come out yet, but I visited was recently in Connecticut for a wedding, and I visited a retro game store up there, and I got two things. So first of all, I picked up Pilot Wings Resort, which I've been meaning to pick up for a while. I love the original Pilot Wings. See it right here. I've got Pilot Wings 64, and then also Pilot Wings, the original, up there. I'm a huge fan of Pilot Wings, but for some reason, I've had a 3DS for like a year and a half, and I never picked this up. And I'm really glad that I did. There's a ton of content in this game, and I think I got it for like $5 in like perfect condition. So if you have not checked out Pilot Wings Resort, this is a really good one to check out for 3DS. The other thing that I got is Crimson Skies, which this is not the not for resale version. This is the original. And the disc is in really good shape. They even cleaned it before I bought it, and comes with all of the original stuff. So was really happy to add this one to the collection. This is the last Xbox game that I was really after. I wasn't ever gonna pay more than like $5 for this game, which is actually what I got it for. Might have been $5.99, but for the original version, that's fine with me. But you know, with the Xbox compatibility happening, and this being one of the games that the Xbox One can play, I figured, you know what, I need to get this before the price goes up. And I believe if you watch RGT85, he talked about this back when that announcement was first made. So anyways, really happy I got this. I also, since we were talking about 3DS stuff with handhelds, I picked up a PS Vita for the first time. I haven't bought any games for it yet because they're all RPGs, but PS Vita games are super cheap right now. I don't know what the deal is, but there's tons of games at GameStop that are like $10, so you know, if I get them on a buy and sell group, I'm sure that I can get them for even cheaper than that. But I'm really looking forward to playing this. I haven't put much time into it yet. I've been wanting one for a while. But yeah, I was able to pick this thing up. It's in really good shape for $60. Now, it did come from a smoker's home because it has a little bit of a cigarette smoke smell to it, but I do know how to get that off. Maybe I'll do a video on that just in case anybody else is in that situation. But you got a couple of surface scuffs, but other than that, $60, PlayStation Vita. But here's the big one, the really big pickup. I was able to get an NES lot for $200, but it had a ton of stuff in it, and I'll tell you what the total is at the end. But first off, I got the weight, and not one, not two, but 3 Nintendo Entertainment Systems, and one of those is upside down. Nope, wait a minute, wait for it, boom, there we go, 3 Nintendo Entertainment Systems. The lot actually only included 2, and then when I got, I'm gonna set these down somewhere. And then when I got there, the guy was like, "Okay, the 2 are in the lot with the games, and that's fine." But then he opened up the sliding door of his car, and he was like, "Look, I got another one. It doesn't have any cords or anything." He's like, "You know what? You're buying the rest of it from me. How does $10 sound?" And of course, I said, yeah, $10 for a working NES. I'm totally down with that. It doesn't matter how it looks, because you can do stuff, which again, I'll do a video on to make that better. So anyway, so I got 3 NESs, so that's the beginning. A lot of these games that I got are duplicates, but out of the 38 games, I was able to get 18 new ones, and this is something I know that I can turn around, basically clean up all these games, restore them. I just restored the pin connector in one of them. Here, I can pull it out of here. And I'll probably do a video on that as well. And I actually ended up having to replace one of the pins completely. And you can see, I don't know if the light's good enough so you can see right there. see if I can focus the camera on it. Wait for it. Wait for it. You can see right there, that one is a different color than the others. It's slightly shinier. That's because that came from a third-party connector that I uninstalled it, reinstalled it, and it works like new, which is really awesome. So I'm really excited about that. This NES particularly is earmarked for somebody already, so it was really important that I get this thing working and in tip-top shape, but I was really excited about that, so that's really awesome. And this is just going to be a long video, so you'll have to forgive me for wordiness, but there's a ton of stuff to go over. Again, a lot of these are duplicates for me. First, I will go ahead and pop this out. I got a Mega Man 1 and a Mega Man 2 here. These are both duplicates, but yeah, Mega Man games. I mean, you can't go wrong with Mega Man games. Now, this one was super dirty, and I actually did a retro restoration video on this, so this will be, this is the clean version, but I will probably post that retro restoration video here pretty soon, so you can see just how dirty this thing is. This is one of the dirtiest games I've ever cleaned on the inside, which was really surprising to me because the outside is actually in really good shape, and I didn't have to clean that up much. But anyways, we got our Mega Man games. Again, these are earmarked for the same person who is getting that NES that I was talking about. So those are good. But again, they were duplicates for me, so I'm good with that. I can find somewhere to stack these so that I don't repeat myself. Okay. And then I'm just gonna grab stacks of them. My son loves this. I have a 3-year-old, and he was actually able to play this game by himself. But this is Big Bird's Hide and Speak. Not much to say about that. Kind of cool though, because there are actual digitized voices in it, which is pretty rare for an NES game. We got 3D World Runner. If you've never played 3D World Runner, this is actually a really fun kind of arcade game that I knew about, but I had never played before. So when I stuck it in, I was actually really impressed graphically. This is a really cool game. I mean, I don't know that I'd pay more than $5 for it, because I'm not sure that most people will get that much playtime out of it. But it's really, really a cool game. So check that out if you have a chance. Mad Max, this one I haven't really been able to figure out. I don't really know what to do with it. And it's the pins on this are not in great shape, so I kind of have to work a little bit to get it to work. But you know what? It's fine. You drive around and you shoot stuff and you throw grenades and like I said, I haven't really figured out what you're supposed to do other than just kill things, which is Mad Max, so maybe that's the point. I don't know. But anyways, so there's that one. We got Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. This is the only Castlevania game that I did not have, so really happy that I got this. I wasn't really expecting it. In the pictures on the buy-sell group, this one was obscured, so I had no idea what it was. But I got it, so I was really excited, and this one works really well. It was a really clean copy, so that's great. That's going to be great in the collection. I've already played it for like an hour since I got it. But Tecmo Super Bowl. Now, I had played Tecmo Bowl growing up, and I think I may have it over there somewhere. I'm not a huge fan of sports game, but Tecmo Super Bowl apparently is a bit rarer, and I played this a little bit, and it's interesting because you can simulate like whole football seasons on this thing. And again, I'm not really into sports games that much, but this one's pretty sweet. So if you're into sports games on the NES or old school retro sports games, check it out. We got the original Punch-Out. Now I already had the Mike Tyson version of this, and you can't probably see it because it's in this shiny case and the window's shining on it. But I already have the Mike Tyson version of this. Now I have the re-release version of it. So if for anybody that doesn't know the history, this one basically was a really popular version of the game. This is the original. Everybody knows Punch-Out. But when the license ran out for using Mike Tyson's name, Mike Tyson wasn't really a big deal anymore anyway. So they just said, you know what, screw it. We're going to replace Mike Tyson in the game and just make this Punch-Out. And so there you go. Punch-Out. So anyways, now I've got both variants, which is fun. This Mike Tyson one is from childhood, so that's my personal copy. But it's nice to have the other one too. Next we've got Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Everybody loves Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. A little rattle to that one. Well, that might be interesting when I open it up. But I haven't cleaned this one, haven't really messed with it much, but this is a duplicate for me. I have a CIB copy of it over there, so I don't really necessarily need this one. But it's nice to have. It's pretty cool. And then lastly, for that pile, we've got Popeye. And this is an arcade game that I always enjoyed in the arcade, but I had never actually found a clean copy on the NES before, and this is a really clean copy, but there is a problem with this one. When I put it in my NES, and I've actually tried it in all of these NESs. Do I have an open NES card? I don't think I do. I think there's something wrong with the character ROM on it, and because every now and again I can get it to load right, but most of the time when I load it, it's scrambled, and all of these pins are really clean. There's nothing wrong with this thing, so I think there might be something wrong with the ROM, or it's about to go. So we'll see how long this one lasts, but when it works, it works. I actually streamed it a couple weeks ago. We got Skate or Die 2, which I've never been a huge fan of the Skate or Die series, but I know some people really like them, really nostalgic for some people. I had this first one, didn't have the second one, and now I've got both. Dr. Mario, which is a game that I somehow did not have. I know that we owned this as a child, but my sister really loved the puzzle games, and a lot of times she would grab them and steal them and just go, they would go into her room, which is a black hole that a lot of stuff never came back from. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened to Dr. Mario, so it's nice to have it again. Interestingly enough, I had the instruction booklet for that one, but did not have the game until just now, so that's really cool. And then I got a really, really beat up copy of Bart versus the Space Mutants, which it's really not a good game. It works, it's fine, I guess. It's just, it's just not a good game. The quality of the game itself is reflected in the label here. If anybody would like that one, I'll probably just give that one away. Cybernoid, which is actually kind of a fun adventure shmup by Acclaim. Not a lot of people like this one because it's dang hard, but it's also dang cheap. So if you're interested in the shmups, it's not really a shmup in the sense that like you'd have like Gradius or something like that. It's like an adventure shmup where you go from screen to screen, and it's kind of a puzzly reflexy type of thing. Definitely worth checking out if you see it in a retro store. You usually see it for like $4 or $5. It's really not much at all. It's a really cheap one, so that's definitely one that could be worth your time to check out. I got myself a gold variant of Zelda. Now, the interesting thing about this is, I mean, it's a little beat up. I would definitely look for a label upgrade if I got another one later. That gold paint chips off after a while, and I had Zelda, but I never had this game. What I have is the Player's Choice variant, which is the gray cart, which is actually more rare than the gold one. And thus worth just a little bit more money, but it's actually really nice to have an original one, because I always felt like kind of a poser not having an original Zelda. As big of a Zelda fan as I am, I actually did not play this game until after I played, it's in the Game Boy case, after I played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, which I absolutely loved, and then I was like, oh, Zelda's a cool thing, and so I got that, but by that time, this was the version you could buy in the store, so it's nice to have the gold one. Next one, we have Go 13. This is a James Bond wannabe kind of game. Now, I played this a little bit. Seems like it's got some interesting concepts in it. Seems like it's gonna be kind of fun for one playthrough. I might even stream it just because it's an interesting one. Graphics are not good on this thing. They are horrible. But it is a cheap game. It's a Vic Tokai game. Definitely worth checking out if you can find it cheap, $3-4. Kind of an adventure espionage type of thing, objective-based, mission-based thing. But next one I got Gumshoe. Now this is a light zapper game, and I have no CRT, so I played this, or I stuck it in, made sure it worked, stuck a zapper in, it did start, so I assume the game works properly. But this is a nice one, nice black label game that I didn't have. I never really had a reason to buy it, but hey, now that I've got it, cool. And then, of course, we got Mario Duck Hunt. Nobody really needs to say anything about Mario Duck Hunt. It's Mario Duck Hunt. I haven't opened this up yet to see if it's a glop top or not, which basically means that there's no RAM or ROM chip in it. It's just like they stuck the thing on and then just put like a piece of glue or some glue on. It's not soldered in. And then another copy of Super Off-Road, Mike Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road, which is a really fun game. It's also really hard. It's a racing game, so that's not really my thing. I don't usually do racing games a ton. I'm much more into platformers, but it's cool to have it. Another copy of it. So yeah, so that's that one. We got Dodgeball. Dodgeball's a really fun game and really cheap. If you don't have Dodgeball, definitely worth picking up. Very, very cool game. Also, we have, this one I'm actually kind of excited about. This is a black label original variant of Super Mario Brothers. There's no Duck Hunt, there's no track and field, there's nothing else like that. So this is one I'm actually keeping. I didn't have this, so now really all I need to complete that kind of set is just a black label Duck Hunt, which would be really cool if I could find one. But yeah, so I've got almost all the black label games now, which is pretty sweet, so I was really excited to add that one to the collection. Then we have Pro Wrestling, another black label that I did not have. Now, unfortunately, this label is not in great shape, and I did try this game, and I played it for a little bit. I didn't really get how to play it. I probably need to look up the manual online, because I'm pretty sure that there's stuff that you can do that I was not doing, like, at all. But other than the label, this one was in really good shape. Pins were really good. Excited to have that one. Silkworm. This is a shmup that I never played that I wish I had played sooner. It's kind of fun. You can either be a helicopter or a Humvee, and go through the same stages just with different vehicles. And for the time, it was actually probably pretty innovative. And I've only played it for about 10 minutes, but I did have a lot of fun with it because, you know, I love shmups. So really excited. That was a good one. That's a keeper. And then we have Top Gun. I have like 3 copies of this game already, and this one has some issues. Looks like somebody ripped the label and then taped it back down. If it doesn't work, then I'm not gonna be super heartbroken about it because it's Top Gun. Now I know some people like this game. Actually, I think that John Riggs actually just recently said in a video that he likes this game, and that's fine. But it's not my thing. We got TNC Surf Designs. This is Thrill Safari. No, this is Wood and Water Rage, not Thrill Safari. Which is TNC surf game. They're decent. We have Monopoly. I run across a copy of this game with pretty much every pickup I do, so there's not a whole lot to say about that. Double Dragon! Everybody loves Double Dragon. Apparently this is Jason S's Double Dragon. Now, I'm glad that that's just a marker. There's a few of these games that have the initials JS, who I assume is Jason S, actually written into the label with pen, and I can't get those out because they're actually indented, but these markers, they will actually come off if you just scratch them lightly. See, we're already losing part of the S there, so there you go. Little retro restoration tip for those of you guys that have stuck around this long. But anyways, Double Dragon, yay. We got RC Pro-Am. Everybody loves RC Pro-Am. You race cars and you shoot people. It's pretty sweet. So there you go, 32 tracks of racing thrills. If you see RC Pro-Am, definitely worth getting. We have Batman. If you haven't played this game is dang hard, especially the final boss. The final boss is ridiculous, but it is a ton of fun. If you, it's very Ninja Gaiden-esque. If you're a fan of those games, you will probably like this game, and it's really cheap. Usually it runs about $10, so that's pretty cool. We also have Double Dragon 2, the sequel, and this one actually must not have come from the same collection, because this is Kyle's, and it says so right there. Kyle's. So, thanks for the game, Kyle. We have Major League Baseball. This baseball game. Not super exciting, not super expensive. The original Castlevania, which this one is valuable for some reason. But it's pretty cool to have. There's a little label damage on there. The label's just peeling off a bit. You get the label like this, it's just peeling off. That's actually a really easy fix. Rubber cement. And then wrap a rubber band around the game, and the label will go back on. Well, that one has a weird sticker on it. Excite Bike. Everybody loves Excite Bike. Well, actually, not many people like Excite Bike. It hasn't aged well. But anyways, it's Excite Bike, and everybody knows it, and not a bad game. And then this one has like a butterfly sticker. That's a bonus, I guess. I don't know where my trash can went. The original Skate or Die. It's Skate or Die. Not a huge fan of the series. This is a duplicate for me, but there you go. That's that. And now we're starting to get to the good stuff. Not that Castlevanias weren't good. We'll do those 3 last. We have Wrath of the Black Mana, which is really cheap, and the graphics aren't great, but it's actually a really fun game. So if you're interested in like kind of action platformy things, it's a ninja game, but it's not Ninja Gaiden. I'm gonna call it Ninja Gaiden. It's worth it. It's like a $5 game, and actually I think I've got the copy I have over there. I think I got for free. It was just a throw in with other stuff, but it's really not a bad game. So totally worth getting if you get a chance. You have Disney's Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. Again, this is one of my CIBs, so I don't need it. This is a duplicate for me. But this is basically kind of a collection of smaller games. There's a couple of platformers in it that are really good. There's a space adventure one, which is basically like Simon Says on steroids, which is kind of fun, but also kind of frustrating. There's a racing game that's really easy. There's a couple more. This is one of the first Capcom Disney games, other than Mickey Mousecapade. And you can kind of see the influence for what would become Mega Man and what would become some of these other games. So that's about it for that one. And then we have, I'm going to do all 3 of these at once because this is a really long video. There you go. We got the trilogy here. This is probably going to sell as a package with the with one of the systems, and they're all in pretty good shape. Especially Turtles 3, Turtles 2 and Turtles 3 are the ones that are really desirable out of this. So pretty exciting, actually, that these all came together and they all came in great shape. Someone was a Turtles fan. I'm sure you can see there's some other stuff in these boxes. All that stuff is just cords and stuff. Now, there is an original NES adapter that I am keeping because mine went bad. So that's pretty cool, original NES AC adapter. So let's do these in order. So we got Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 is has Joey Grant's name etched in it, but everybody loves Super Mario Bros. 3, and it always holds its value, which is great. And then Maniac Mansion, which is one that I, for some reason, did not get ever. I don't know why. I love point and clicks. I have like all these stupid point and clicks that don't really work really well on the NES, like King's Quest V. But for some reason, Maniac Mansion, I never got it. So anyway, so now I have Maniac Mansion, which is great, and the battery still works. It's all clean, and it's minty, and it's a really great copy, so I'm excited about that. We also got Contra. And this is not a label upgrade for me. This is a duplicate, so this one will probably get sold as well in there. And there's some dirt on here. A lot of times you find Contra, and it's just, it looks like it's been through a war. So, really good to find it. And if you haven't played Contra, I mean, come on, you need Contra. And then the last one is interesting to me, because this is one that I had never heard of. This happened in the last lot that I got as well with Wampum, and that one was interesting to me because I had never heard of it. I really glossed over it when I was looking in the box for that lot, and it ended up being worth like 50, 60 bucks. It's actually a really good Mega Man style game that has a really interesting history behind it. But that's not for this video. This one is called Motor City Patrol, and it is a lot like Wampum in that way that nobody really knows about it. It's really got a really interesting concept, but I don't know, it's a Matchbox game. I mean, there's not really many people that like Matchbox games or know what they are. So here you go, I'll let you see it right there. This is basically like Grand Theft Auto, like 1 and 2, but instead of being the criminal, you're the cop. So this is Grand Theft Auto from the cop's perspective, pretty much. Now, one thing I have noticed about this one, I don't know if the PCB is just thinner than a lot of other games. This one is really finicky about working, and if I shake it, I can actually hear the PCB moving around a little bit. So that might just be a special thing with Matchbox games. I don't know. Maybe they were just the PCBs were center, but anyway, we're smaller. I can't talk apparently, and I had never heard of it before. This is the why I pick up the lots, because I run into all this stuff. Anyways, so there you go, Motor City Patrol. That's the big pickup from this lot. Even though all of these other things are great. Now, if I were to assign a total value to all of this for what I know I could sell each of these things for, I paid $200 for the lot. I could probably get $450 out of this lot if I parted out. Now, I'm not, because I am going to keep 18 of these games because I didn't have them before, and that's really the only viable way that I know to collect now, because prices are so massively inflated. Now, when I sell these things, I will take the games apart, I'll clean them, I'll get all the dirt off, I'll make sure they work 100%, I'll make sure the NESs work 100%, I'll replace pins if they're needed, and the connectors, and I'll actually recondition these things. And then I will probably sell them for a little bit under market value. I don't usually sell things for market value, because usually market value is inflated, and it's people that are trying to just drive prices up so they can get more for retro games, and it's ridiculous, and I don't like it. So anyways, so that's kind of how I do this. So if you're interested in collecting and you don't mind learning how to restore stuff, which is not hard, you can do it with some really simple tools. I even have some tutorials on this channel. That is the way to collect for the NES and these old systems, in my opinion. Because you can really collect and not spend an arm and a leg, and not, kill your wallet completely collecting these things. And if you're looking for these deals, buy-sell groups, Facebook buy-sell groups are the place to go. That's where I get most of my stuff anymore. I hardly ever go to eBay. I hardly ever pay retail price for a game, because most of the time it's inflated. Now, I will go to a retro game store and I will support that game store, because they're usually independent businesses, and I like supporting that market that way. But anyways, that's how I get my stuff, and those are my pickup videos. But anyways, I know this was a really long one, but I wanted to go ahead and do a really long one because I haven't done anything in a while, and I finally got a place to do it, which is awesome. So if you like this, then go ahead and throw a like down there. Go ahead and subscribe. That would be really awesome. More videos on the way. I have my, finally have my SNES Classic PAL and North American comparison video right here. It's happening. And I just recorded it, so that's happening right there. I got both versions. I'm going to compare the differences between the two. And that was actually a subscriber that suggested that video. So, wait a minute. So, if you have a suggestion for a video, tell me about it. And maybe I can do it. Maybe I can look into a game that, if you like a game a lot, maybe I can look into it, do a history video on it. Something like that. Now that I have a place to do this stuff, I'm planning on doing a lot more with this channel, so stay tuned, and hopefully I will see you guys next time, and you guys have a great day.